Hello, good morning, namaskar, and a very warm welcome to the day 3 of India Global Education and Skill Summit. Engaging powerful minds and empowering transformation is the idea behind this 3-day mega virtual summit hosted by the Government of Telangana, Collegiate Education and Technical Education Department, organized by Indie Global Media Network. As you have seen, over 100 leaders from the space of education, skill, technology, both from the government and the private sector and institution, both private and government, and also school education leaders have also joined us in last 2 days, and today also we'll be joined by several leaders from across the country and delegates, especially including teaching staff, students, and innovators and technology experts from across the country. Over 1500 have joined and watching us live throughout the day in various platform and also India Global Education and Skill Summit 3D platform. Just to take you all, without a further ado, I would like to call upon all our esteemed speaker who would be joining us. I would request all our esteemed speaker who have joined us uh, just to take you all. We're on the day 3, and yesterday we had a very vibrant inaugural session with participation from Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Secretary Sri Rajesh Agarwal joined us and delivered keynote address, and we were also joined by Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe. He is chairman for All India Council of Technical Education. At the same time, our program chair Sri Navin Mittal were there, and several state representation from government of Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh were part of it, and several leaders. So, without a further ado, I would like to call upon a transformation leader who has been playing a very key role in the state of Telangana since last 3.5 years. There has been a progress and growth in the education sector. We'll get to see a lot, and we'll also understand and hearing from him, a senior bureaucrat from the state of Telangana, Commissioner, Collegiate Education and Technical Education Department, Government of Telangana, Sri Navin Mittal. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We are also joined by yet another educator, a leader. I know him personally. He's an environmentalist by heart, and he is known for several initiatives for taking education and various training that's happening that needs in the rural area. Please join me in welcoming Dr. W.G. Prasanna Kumar, Chairman for Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, Ministry of Higher Education, Government of India. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. We are also joined by a senior educator, academician from the state of from the Union Territory, Chandigarh, Dr. Archana Mantri, Vice Chancellor, Chitkara University. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we are also joined by K. Sivaramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Geetham University from the state of Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam. Thanks, sir, for joining us.
Namaskar.
We are also joined by a well-known educator, dedicated several years in the education and has been doing wonders now with a well-known university, Professor S. Ramchandram, Vice Chancellor, Anurag University. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Namaste. Namaste.
And we would also be joined by Professor Rajita Kulkarni, President for Sri University, and one more speaker would be joining us. Without further ado, I would like to call upon our program chair, Sri Navin Mittal, to address this opening session of today, which will be focused on embracing digital transformation in central and state universities, collegiate and technical education institution. Sri Navin Mittal has taken several initiatives. Let us hear from him. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sudhir, and good morning to all the co-panelists and all the participants of this session. First of all, I must thank you, Sudhir, for organizing this excellent summit, which is focused on the three key areas relating to education and training, which is school education, higher education, as well as skill development. And I must say that I was part of the sessions yesterday, and there has been some amazing discussion, and I look forward to a similar level of discussion today also in all the sessions. Coming to the topic which we have selected for this session, which is embracing digital technologies and digital transformation for higher education, and especially universities and the institutions, as well as in the government sector. I would like to bring in the government perspective in this from the state of Telangana. So last few years, we have been working on integrating and utilizing the digital technologies in education. And I must say that last 1.5 years has been transformative, not just for the state of Telangana, but for the entire country and for the entire globe in the sector of education. Because somehow education sector was a very slow sector to adopt technology. But with COVID pandemic, we have been forced to adopt digital technologies almost even in the remote institutions also, because there was no other way. And the kind of change which has happened, which I'm seeing around, is it has been greatly accelerated, and it is estimated that change which would have taken probably 5 to 10 years has actually happened in a period of 1.5 year in this transformative times. In the state of Telangana, we have actually kept technology at the forefront in addressing the needs of the institutions in our state. For example, coming to the first basic contact with the students, which is at the admissions time, we have a portal called DOST, which is Degree Online Services of Telangana, and this system is actually operated as a unique partnership between the government, the universities, the institutions, as well as the technology partner, which is Center for Good Governance, which is located in Hyderabad. And through this platform, nearly about 220,000 roughly students take admissions almost every year. And with the coming of COVID pandemic last year, we have almost tried to make this platform almost contact free, so that students can from anywhere enter into the system, their details, all the certificates which are required, as well as the payment of fees. They can opt for any institution in the state of Telangana. And the benefit of this has been that there has been we have seen a huge amount of increase in student mobility. Earlier, when the student had to physically go to every institution, they had to physically go, they had to pay the prospectus fee, buy the prospectus, file an application, pay the application fee, physically check whether when the list of that institution is coming out. And this was not just a very expensive process for the student, but also for the institutions. Also, this was a process which was very uncertain, because one never knew till the last moment which student is joining or not. I know a student who has taken admission in, let's say, 5-6 institutions, till the last moment which institution the student will be joining was uncertain. And when we brought in this system, this has ensured not just complete transparency, but also a merit-based system wherein, based on their performance in the 12th class exam, we are allotting them to the institutions based on their options. And as I mentioned, this entire process is made contact-free, in the sense that the system is also talking to our state caste and income generation system also, through an API-based system, So a candidate does not need to upload their certificate. They just have to mention the certificate number, and our system pulls in the data from the relevant server, both the caste data as well as the income data, or any other verification we need to do. Earlier, it was a very physical process. No, a team of officials used to sit from morning till evening and verify the certificate of the students, because we also have a huge scholarship program for students from marginalized backgrounds like SCs, STs, BCs, minorities, and economically weaker sections also. And also, we have integrated a facial recognition technology. So there are three ways of verification of the student. One, it is through an Aadhaar-based authentication, that you enter your Aadhaar, and OTP comes to your Aadhaar-linked mobile, and once you enter that OTP, you get in. Suppose your Aadhaar is not seeded with the mobile, or there is any other issue, one can do a facial recognition in front of the camera in a mobile or on a computer. You can actually give a live authentication, and this system verifies that photo with the photo of the data which we have for the 12th class examinations of the state board, because 90% of our students are from that background, and it authenticates and logs in. If one is not having access to these two, then one can actually go to the nearest citizen service center and then log in through a biometric authentication, which then helps to enter mobile data. The reason why we have such a strong system of authentication is that we have combined the scholarship authentication with the admission authentication, because earlier we used to find some ghost students who were not there in the institutions, but then the scholarships were being claimed. So this has made it completely a seamless and a foolproof exercise. And and a lot of states have actually come to Telangana and learned from this experience. Two, we have something called e-office. Those who have touch with the government sector, the NIC gives a very, very highly advanced e-office system, which is actually called e-office. And we had implemented the e-office in our Commissionerate of Collegiate and Technical Education something like 3 years back. And then we extended to all the government institutions in the state around the same time. And the benefit of this is that all our communication now from the state headquarters to the institution and back, or to any other entity, is now through digitally signed communication. So we don't print anymore, we don't use any paper anymore, and entire communication is completely system-based communication. So much so that when we had a full lockdown during pandemic, in fact, I can tell you that more work actually happened in our department than otherwise, because we moved from an attendance-based system to a performance-based system. So instead of saying that you come and log on your attendance, we said that every employee of the department has to process at least 2 files. And so much so that within about 3 months, all our historic pendency of the department went away, and we were completely current. So I'm just kind of demonstrating to you the power of technology, what kind of transformation which happens. And in fact, I'm happy to see Professor Ramchandran here, because under his leadership, we have also extended the e-office to the Osmani University when he was VC. And now we are extending the e-office to all our universities in the state. There are 6 general universities and 1 technological university. And there are 4 other specialized universities. So we are extending this e-office to all the universities also, so that within the university also, the entire internal office work is completely online. So that's the second one. The third one is that we are now having biometric based authentication or attendance system throughout the state. So all our government colleges as well as private colleges, and government polytechnics as well as private technical institutions like engineering colleges and private polytechnics also have to mandatorily have a Aadhaar based biometric attendance system. And this is supplied completely by the universities concerned with some very innovative way of funding. We have simply added the additional cost to the exam fee, and this pays for the system. So throughout the state, we have this. This is to do away with the problem of attendance we had in our institutions. So we are talking of quality of education in our higher education system. But unless until a student comes to the institutions, all talk of quality is meaningless, because what are you going to do if the student is not coming? So first, student has to actually come to the institution, and that's a basic issue. So this has really, I mean, keep getting feedback from principals, both from our government institutions as well as private institutions, and they feel that this has really made their job simpler, because the students are actually automatically coming, and there's no real need for monitoring the student attendance now. And even for the examinations, no, the required attendance actually is generated from the system, and nobody has to do any physical calculation. So that's the third one. The fourth one, which I can talk about, is something called University Management System. And again, this was started under the leadership of Professor Ramchandran, jointly between the Osmania University and the RUSA project, which is funded by the central government and state government jointly in 60-40 ratio. So we have functioning systems within our universities, but most of those systems have actually been developed over a period of time. Now, some systems are as old as 2 decades old, and they don't talk to each other. They don't follow common data based structures. They work in silos. Some of them, we don't even have the source code in order to do any modification. So what we are trying to do is completely system integrate a completely new university management system, which is going to be used by all our universities. And I'm happy to say that last week we actually inaugurated the first part of it. Almost about 40% of the modules are up and running, and the rest of the modules we expect to be up and running by end of March. And this, we feel, will bring in a lot of speed and efficiency to our university administration also, and bring in sort of alignment of the systems in various universities, because many universities were following their own systems which were not in sync with the expected way in which it has to be done. So when we involved everybody, they came out with this kind of a common design, which is expected to bring in a lot of systematization to the internal university administration, and also student services, as well as the university's touch with the institutions, because we also have built-in affiliation management systems, as well as institutional other information which they have to submit is completely made online. So that is something which has really given, I would say, very good results. Finally, I want to talk about the evaluation system. So we have something called now on-screen digital evaluation system, which has been introduced in the state of Telangana. So our entire technical education evaluation happens online. In Osmania University, it happens online. In our B.R. Ambedkar Open University, which is again one of the largest open universities of the country, the entire evaluation is happening online, in the sense that the student scripts are scanned and entered into the system, and then they are allotted to whosoever evaluators are present at that particular moment. And as soon as they finish the evaluation online, they get the next script. And what this has done is given multiple benefits to us. First, almost all our calculation mistakes in our evaluation system has been done away with. So, because there are a lot of inbuilt checks and balances in the system. If there's a blank sheet, the evaluator has to actually say that this is a blank sheet. If some question is missed, it is not evaluated, the evaluator has to say that this question is not answered by the student. And if somebody is trying to give more than the maximum marks or the minimum marks, no, it gives a prompt. So there are multiple checks and balances in the system. So that is one. Two, before this system, our evaluators had to actually come physically to an evaluation camp. For example, in Osmania University, which is the largest university in our state, it has more than about 1,200 affiliated colleges with close to, I would say, 3.5 lakh students within the university system. When the evaluation used to happen, the teachers had to physically come to a camp, and that meant a huge cost on not just their traveling, but also the opportunity cost of them leaving their own institutions. No, for example, in our government colleges, the teacher, if he has to go for evaluation, he had to totally miss the teaching on that particular day and then go there. And we had this constant tussle between the university and our college administration in terms of providing evaluator. We wanted to send them only after the college hours, but the universities were having concerns about the speed of evaluation. So, but this has completely done away because now anywhere it can be done. In fact, during the pandemic, people also evaluated from their home if they had access to a laptop or a computer and a biometric device through which they could authenticate. And this year, I'm happy to say that all other universities in the state are also moving into this on-screen digital evaluation. Now, of course, there are certain autonomous colleges and certain other universities which have gone in for completely online examinations. But the general universities have not gone in for those online evaluations or online examinations in a big way because of lack of access of device at the student end. And the issue was that if student had actually come to a center to sit in front of the computer and appear in the online exam, then it is much more easier to simply give a physical exam. So we found that instead of an online examination, an online evaluation worked very well in our kind of environment. And I can talk of multiple other things also in terms of online courses which we have developed, a learning management system also, which is now being integrated into our education system. Idea is that when we adopt technology in our educational system, which was hitherto, I would say, either slow to adopt or in a very primitive way, but when we really adopt cutting edge technologies, it really helps in transformation of the system, and great ease and transparency into the system is brought in, I would say. And with these few words, I hand over back to you, Sudhir, and I would be happy to hear from the other participants who would be bringing the perspective from their institutions. And we have a galaxy of people who are present here. We have Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's the Vice Chancellor of World University of Design. Dr. Prasanna Kumar, who's been a good friend of mine and now is the chairman of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Education Institute. Dr. Archana Mantri, the Vice Chancellor of Chatkara University, has joined us. Professor K. Ramakrishna, who's the Vice Chancellor of Geetam University, and of course Professor Ramchandran, who's the Vice Chancellor of Andhra University and was the former Vice Chancellor of Osmani University. And I'm sure that the panel today will bring in a great perspective from pan-India about the adoption of technologies in the universities and in our institutions. So with these few words, I hand over back to you, Sudhir.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us through the various initiatives. It actually is being studied. Various teams from various states have visited and studied this, which are being adopted, and there is a transformation happening. We're happy to see all that. We missed very important speaker. We are joined by Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Vice Chancellor, World University of Design. He is known as a creative leader and a leader in the academic space. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. So with this, we'll move on to our next key speaker, who is a compassionate environmentalist. Now, he would be talking on education, rural concern scenario, challenges, best practices, innovation, and roadmap. Dr. W.G. Prasanna Kumar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sudhir. I am very happy to be part of this summit, which you are conducting, Global Summit. And I'm very happy that Navin Mittal ji is there in this meeting. And as he's mentioned, the Telangana government has been taking important steps in promoting education and efficiency in education, and as well as effectiveness in education, especially through introduction of technologies, introduction of information technology mainly. I'm very happy to be part of this galaxy of vice chancellors in this summit. It's interesting to know that several universities are taking keen interest in promoting quality in their own institution. If we look at the universities which are in A grade in terms of NAC, we have around 210 universities, And if you're looking at the colleges, we have around 1,714 colleges which are in the NAC accreditation. So that would mean that there is an interest generated. Out of the 8,663 colleges and universities, we have around 1,924 of them which are doing well, which are in A grade, and around 1,028 in C grade. And many of them trying to treat the path and improve their performance and get into A grade. So 5,711 institutions and universities are on the path of getting into A grade in terms of NAC accreditation. If we are looking at the NIRF performance, we find that even in NIRF there is an improvement and there is a steady growth of the institutions. Though NIRF started just in 2015, and we are also treating towards the QS World University Rankings. Many of our universities are striving to improve on their resources, on their research, on their stakeholder perception, improvement of performance in all those areas. When we are looking at the colleges in terms of NIRF ranking, there are several colleges, 33 colleges from Tamil Nadu which are doing well, and 19 colleges from Kerala. These two states, southern states, account for 50% of the list. And southern states, all the southern states are represented in NIRF top 10, top 100. But in terms of the cities, yes, Delhi is on the top with 28 colleges and 5 of them in the first 10. So that would indicate the skewed presence of education facilities, educational infrastructure, educational quality, and also education in terms of the quantity of the institutions present. Quantity of the institutions present you would find many of them in Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. So we are dealing with this skewed presence of the institutions, and mostly urban presence of these institutions. While Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, which I represent, focuses on rural concerns. So when we are in the path of urbanization, when many of the rural areas are getting submerged into the neighborhood urban areas, the concerns which are rural are sometimes becoming suburban concerns or urban concerns at large. But nevertheless, the core rural area remains rural and is yet to get the main facilities, major facilities that the citizens are aspiring for. So the role of education in handling the concerns is very critical. Role of education in building the human resource which can handle the concerns is critical, and role of educational institutions in building this human resource also is very critical. So that connect being there, when we are talking about rural, it is mostly natural resource dependent community that is there, whether it is dependent on water or land or or that which comes out of the land, like the tree or forest produce. So natural resource dependent community is interested in harnessing and conserving the natural resource. That is, conservation would include consumption as well as preservation, and keeping it for the next generation in terms of intergenerational equity in the context of sustainable development, which is coming up across the world as an important indicator of development. So in terms of the institutions that Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education has been working on, we are focusing on both the north-south as well as east-west institutions, universities, and colleges. So colleges as well as universities, when we are interacting, we find that the interest in terms of change and and the competency to handle the change there is a gap, and that is a challenge that we have. While several of the institutions are struggling to survive, several of them are also struggling to improve upon their performance and become better. So both NIRF ranking as well as NAC grading have helped in a way to look at the parameters on which they can focus on. I'm glad to know that Navin Mittalji has given instructions to all government degree colleges. I was just talking to one of the principals of a government degree college in Hyderabad. He was saying that there are instructions from Navin Mittalji to work on their quality improvement and and their grading as in NAC as well as NIRF to all the degree colleges under the commissionerate of collegiate education. So while there is a focus on numbers, admissions, scholarships, number of people coming out, recruitment, there is also a requirement of a focus on the concerns of the country. What are the concerns of the country in terms of developmental concerns, growth concerns, economic concerns, as well as the social concerns? While we have social economic concerns addressed in the urban India, the social and economic concerns in rural India also focus on the ecological concerns of that particular area. So to handle this, what we have been doing is interact with the rural management institutions across the country. We have interacted with IRMA and with the universities, other universities which are focusing on rural management include Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Kalyani University, Vishwa Bharati University, Xavier University. So several of the universities which were traditionally also interested in rural, they have also gone into rural management which is focused on rural concerns. Rural management looks at rural not as a consumer but as a producer of services and goods which are consumed everywhere in the country, including the urban as well as the rural areas, including pushing the product across the borders. In the country, we have one scheme which is called as One District, One Product, which is linked to agro-climatic produce possible in that particular area. So Government of India has gone into this One District, One Product. So recently, we've been interacting with the Government of Karnataka on this One District, One Product. We wanted the students to get involved with the local economic concerns and local firms, local businesses which are looking for branding and managerial support. They cannot afford to become a big employer, but they are interested in definitely getting professional service or professional support. They could employ one or two persons with managerial knowledge could actually revive their institution or put their product at a very high level. So there are business concerns which are rural, which are to be addressed by managerial knowledge, business knowledge, which is focusing on the scale. If we are looking at scale which is low and looking at handling that, can we look at clustering that in a way that the cluster would help the economic viability, the scale would improve. So that is one area which we are focusing on. So around 75 higher educational institutions across the country have come forward to promote rural management as a discipline, as an education. Another area which has come up is this institutional social responsibility, ISR. Higher educational institutions have a responsibility towards the community on which they are dependent for their daily needs, and also from whom they have taken the natural capital called land. And they also impinge upon the public resource, whether it is water available in the ground or whether it is road space. The higher education institution does take a lot of this from the community. So there is a responsibility on the part of higher education institution to give back to the community, because these days most of the higher education institutions are getting located in the periphery of the urban areas or in the rural areas, due to the paucity of space. So considering that there is the need for engagement of the higher education institutions with the rural areas, so we have a program called Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education is also supporting this program in Telangana, where we are handling 11 districts of Telangana into getting them higher educational institutions. Getting them means the higher education institutions into looking at the concerns of the community around, and what is that they can help in through their technological interventions or social engineering or social doctoring, or providing that medicine that is required through community medicine. So this engagement, we've been during the COVID. What we have seen is we have got around 2,123 higher education institutions across the country involved into providing this community engagement based community services linked to COVID, whether it is hospital related information or whether it is providing psychosocial support to the citizens, to the neighborhood citizens. They have been involved in. So the government of India has gone into this institutional social responsibility, fostering social responsibility and community engagement has become very important now. And University Grants Commission as well as AICTE are working on making that as part of the curriculum. So, considering the context that is developing, evolving, and the demands which are evolving, which are changing from time to time, the aspirations of the rural India changing, and the rural natural capital dwindling, and there is a need for working on regenerating the capital and improving the competence of the already available capital, so that very less is used for greater benefit. There is a requirement of academic activity on those lines. I would look at the district level, leave alone the metropolitan areas, which are mostly focused on corporate world or handling the needs of urban India. But the district education could definitely focus on rural management or rural community engagement. These are two areas which are challenges which are yet to be addressed by the higher educational institutions in the country. While the commercialization or interest in economic sustainability of higher educational institutions, which is also important, the need to address either by way of the institutional or university social responsibility, or by way of actually addressing the student need to handle these concerns is very critical to be which needs to be flagged and addressed by these universities across the country, whether they are in the public domain or private domain. So,
Yes.
with this, I would conclude. I would look forward to listen to all of you. We've been going around from one university to the other university, from private to public, from central to state, from IITs to NITs to IIMs to several of the autonomous institutions to push rural agenda. At least have it as part of your agenda. If you can have it as one of the social concern or your own social responsibility, university or institutional social responsibility component, that way you would be actually handling the need which is there but not yet addressed.
जो
Thank you.
स्क्रीन पे नहीं है Thank you very much, sir, for sharing us the initiatives and best practices that's being done by Mahatma Gandhi National Council for Rural Education, especially addressing the rural concern. As you mentioned, the universities and institutions which are basically because of the land inavailability or the constraint in within the city, they are in the outskirts of the city, and in a way it's helping the surrounding suburban areas and also rural areas. As you mentioned, the community engagement is something which is needs to be done, and it will take a long way in transformation. With this, as we were also talking that you're also working with various institutions and universities, taking these engagements in the rural areas. We're glad to know about that. And with this, I would like to call upon our next speaker, uh, who has joined us from the capital city of our country, Delhi, Mr. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Vice Chancellor, World University of Design. Over to you, sir.
A very good morning to you all. And at the outset, thank you, Sudhir, for organizing this kind of discussion and also for inviting us. I represent a very small university in Haryana, and digital transformation kind of became a way of life for us when COVID started, and we sort of move into it very fast without wasting even a single day. And since then, we have been experimenting and including a lot of other, you know, transforming tools. And as I see today, and keeping in mind what my previous speakers have been saying, a complete ecosystem for digital support of a university is emerging. Right from, let's say, the admission stage, where you have admission management tools, you have digital marketing, you have online entrance exams, to the student management softwares, the learning management softwares, the MOOCs, Moodles, to enterprise resources for or what Navin Mittal said, university management systems, then examination and remote proctoring came into being. We also have placements and alumni management systems. We have digi-lockers for putting out the degrees and mark sheets online. Uh, Besides these, we have campus security to look at. That is also becoming digital with face recognition and fingerprinting and all that. On top of that, we have a lot of central schemes like NRF, QS, NAC, and all these coming up, which also requires you to comply to or to adhere to most of the digital norms which they are putting in place. We also, being a design institution, and for every one of our stream, every one of our specializations use a plethora of softwares. And now with AR, VR, and other such systems coming in, these softwares are also expanding. And if you are teaching online, then collaborative tools, because there are projects on which people are working, they also become important. So what I'm trying to say here is that there are these umpteen numbers of small cogs in the complete wheel, which is making our life very digital. However, they are all different vendors, and in interacting with all of these different ad tech companies or solutions which they are providing, the lives of university management or the teachers are becoming very complicated, because for different tools they need to log in with different passwords, work in a different way, and I think we need some kind of a solution, like we have a digi-locker, or what Mr. Mittal was saying about developing a state-wise or a country-wide university management system from which the universities can take and implement in their institutions, and which being or having followed a similar system across the country would perhaps also make data collections and data sharing and talking to each other, or our academic bank of credit kind of schemes very easy, because then you would have everything which is working on a same framework. So we need now a consolidation at a national level of these tools, which can be then downloaded from somewhere and used by institutions which follow us a broadly similar kind of framework on which people can work, so that the national and the state level system can emerge as a single thing. It would also, I think, bring down the cost of education, because all these tools work on annual licenses, and they are all per head licenses. So if you have as many students or bigger universities, they would be paying for every student of using this. And for every new software or tech which you're using, if you're paying separately, then the whole cost adds up to the cost of education, which becomes very significant. So I think going forward, if you're looking at digital transformation at a national or even at state level, the state needs to get into the consolidation and unification of these tech tools, so that the integration can really happen in real time and things can really change. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing us, especially in those areas where these latest technologies are coming up. And though it is said a lot of future is lying in these emerging technologies, we get to know from you how the opportunities are there in the market and what is the progress that is happening. And I'm sure the education system in India is now on track. Now it has to catch that pace to move ahead with the global standards. Now, next up, I would like to call upon. We are also joined by yet another educationist, well-known name, uh, with several years, decades of experience in education, Dr. Rajita Kulkarni, President, CC University. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining. With this, we will move on to our next speaker, uh, um, an academician dedicated with rich experience, Professor K. Sivaramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Geetham University. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, namaskar to all the panel speakers. And let me first congratulate Sri Navin Mittal, IAS Commissioner, Collegiate Education and Technical Education Department, Government of Telangana, and also India Global Media Network for taking initiative to organize this India Global Education and Skill Summit 2021. It's a great initiative. Timely, they have organized this, and this awareness and sensitization to all the stakeholders regarding this global education and skill summit, or what are the changes happening in the education, particularly in the higher education space, and what are the skills are demanded by the corporate and society. And this is an hour of need, and we all congratulate and thank you for the organizers for organizing this event and also giving us an opportunity to participate in this event. Particularly, Navin Mittal Garu was a commissioner of Visakhapatnam. We all experience as citizens of Visakhapatnam his presence and impact on the society, on the Visakhapatnam city, the benefits and the innovative and dynamism what he has shown when he was a commissioner. We are thankful to you, sir, on behalf of Visakhapatnam citizens. And now the same thing is happening, being a commissioner of College of Education and Technical Education Department. He is bringing all the new initiatives which is going to be a model in the higher education system in the state government level. So for that, I congratulate Sri Navin Mittal Garu for all his initiatives. So when it comes to this summit, we have very distinguished academic leaders, Dr. W.Z. Prasanna Kumar Garu, Chairman, Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, and Dr. Rachana Mantri, Vice Chancellor, Chitkara University, and Professor Ramachandran, Vice Chancellor, Anurag University, Professor Ranjita Pulakarni, President, Sri Sri University, and Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Vice Chancellor, World University of Design. So I'm very happy to associate with this, with all the academic leaders of great universities. And let me share my views on this. And one way we are very badly affected by the COVID, very unprecedented scenario across the globe. And that threat has given a challenge how to move forward in those type of scenarios also. Already technology is creeping into the all walks of life in a very rapid fashion. But now it forced us to learn. Otherwise, it would have taken a long time to realize and sensitize ourselves and make use of technology as a leverage for teaching learning process in higher education scenario. So it forced us, and our people have experienced how we can do even in the this type of environment. And this is being continuing. Maybe you can call it as a offline, online activity, or a blended of online and offline. And both experiences, at the end of the day, it should be an effective teaching learning process, and the student should go with a confidence I can do something in my own area of specialization. So for that, we have to work the better methods, and it's a continuous process from chalk to talk, OHP and LCD, PowerPoint presentations. Now we are going for online digital learning. So everyone has to accept it, and as a leaders, we have to accelerate it and take it to the next level and see that this has to be adopted as fast as possible so that we won't miss this technology advantage. So whenever you are going to use the technology, in my view, it should be effective and efficient. Just because of the technology, we should not see. It should be right, doing the right things, right way of doing things. These two are important. Are you doing the right thing by going only online activity? And what is the efficiency? Are you doing the right way? These two has to be debated all the time by all the professionals, in particular to our academic activity. As an academic professional, we also have to think. If you go for only online, what about the human face? If you won't use the online, what is the efficiency we are going to miss? These two has to be balanced. Then only we can bring the results. Then the speed at which the things are happening, we also have to be in that speed. Otherwise, we will be pushed out of the market, out of the context. Then the transparency is another thing all of us have to keep it. The transparency will give a confidence to the stakeholders so that whatever we do, we can give a confidence to the stakeholders and we can do better thing with their confidence and belief. Then accessibility is another one. When we are using the technology, we have to think about the rural people, those who are not affordable, are they accessible to the technology, what we are going to adopt, the internet connectivity and all these things. That is another thing, but thanks to the different agencies and all that, they are bringing technology in a way to reach to everybody at the global level. And affordability. Another one is affordability. Affordability also is bringing down, but further it has to come down, not only in terms of individual, in terms of institutions. Some of the technologies are very forbidding price, so they could not able to afford. Some of them are bringing it down to the level where an affiliated college also can adopt some of the technologies. Unless the technology will come to that level of affordability and reachable, we can't really use the technology in all levels of higher education scenario. Then another important thing, as I have mentioned, human face, where the human face is more effective, where there is no need of human face. Wherever there is no need of human face, there we can take a leverage of technology, there we can have some advantages. But we should not ignore the human face will have a more effectiveness in terms of giving a good learning experience and the learning process. That's a lot of debate is going on. Everything we can give and all that. And the maybe I won't say old timers. Some people will say teacher interface straight away with the student always will have its own impact. Even though we have online courses and all that, those are all maybe people will think artificial, but the natural interface has its own advantages. But as an academicians, we have to take a decision, and where the human face is must essential, there we have to. At the same time, we should not ignore the technology advantages and taking the leverage of the technology. So these are the aspects we have to keep in mind whenever you are going for a transfer of technology or maybe going to a digitalized education system. And as all of us will know, nowadays we are all using technology for admissions. Particularly in our Geetam, we used to have admissions, online test, online counseling, online process. Only when the physical class will happen, they will come physically and we will see the student. The rest of the thing is only online. Likewise, teaching learning process, we are all experiencing a blended one and maybe partly offline, partly online and all that. And evaluation. Nowadays, so many technologies have come, but they have their own disadvantages and some more improvements are required, like proctoring and all these things. And technology also is improving. If it really come out with all the challenges, if they can address, that's going to be another big advantage. Without paper, we can have a examination. And then student services like payment of fee and other services, we can give in online. And let me share from the Geetam side. Geetam is a 41 years old institute, is named after Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management. And as a university, it's a 14 years old. And we have gone for a second cycle of NAC in 2017 February, where we got 3.53. That's called A. In a present grading process, it's called A++, 3.53 out of 4 CGPA. And we have 24,000 students in 3 campuses. It's a multidisciplinary, multi-campus university. We have almost all disciplines except veterinary and agriculture. Medical, dental, you name anything, every discipline is there in Geetam. And this is a category 1 university, as we are all aware. In 2018, Government of India, Ministry of HRD has identified some universities and institutions as a category 1. We're a category 1 university. And when it comes to technology, we have an exclusive department, Center for Advanced Technology Solutions. That's called CATS. Their job is to give what all IT services required to the university. It was established before we have become a university. In 2003 itself, we have established this Center for Advanced Technology Solution. Their job is only to cater to the needs of IT services to the university. And now we are subscribing almost 3 Gbps, gigabytes per second bandwidth is available, and seamlessly student can download and any number of people can use at a time. Such a facility we have created, that definitely is a backbone for going for digital technology. And when it comes to usage and all that, and we have 2019 August, we started experimenting IT productivity tools to all newly entered students, that year admitted students. Before to that, we have given to all faculty. There are 6-7 skills, and one expert, Mr. Gantas Baragaru, is a maybe earlier he did his PhD from Minnesota in 1980s in computer science. Those days we can count on fingers. He helped us in giving these IT productivity tools. There, 7 days training, and within 7 days, the students could able to create their own website and prepare a presentation conduct a small survey and making a PowerPoint presentation and survey results and preparing maybe gaming type of small activities. So like that, 7, 8 skills. With that, they may not feel that I'm strange for the IT. Whether he is for a pharmacy student, a law student, everybody has learned that. They are so happy, the students and faculty also so happy. That really helped us when this pandemic has set in. When we asked our faculty to move on to the online courses, they easily shifted to the online because they know these IT tools, how to use IT tool to prepare a good lesson in the online. That's one initiative has helped a lot, but we did it in a different way. But pandemic has given an advantage to convert our faculty to develop online courses. Then online admissions, that's very seamlessly we have done it. We were the pioneer in doing online tests, online counseling and all that. It went on very well. And online evaluation also. We were the first people announced the results in 2019, I think 20 June, July, and people have gone to their future career prospects like going for abroad and other things. That's how we have leveraged the technology for almost all the three. But now we are thinking of refining, further strengthening this particular technology wherever the gaps are there. And we have given a training to all our faculty further with their external resource persons how to further make it effective way of. And our goal is that our faculty has to develop online courses and upload, and people can make use of it. And we want to offer maybe online courses also over a period of time because we have a distance education, all these things. So these are the things from the Geetham side. What I maybe in concluding things I can say, it's not that one university or otherwise universities alone will do. Here, education technology providers have to work when they are going to come out with a new technology. It should be affordable, and definitely they will do it because they have their own business interest. They definitely will be in touch with us because so many people have approached us, but we could not make use of them because of the affordability, because of some other technical issues. So they have to understand the actual context of the higher education institutions. Accordingly, they have to develop. It's not that they develop and come back to us and then it may not match to our requirements. That's how we have experienced. We have informed them this is how we have to work out, and all they are working out. And then academicians, you have to understand and move forward in our academic institutions. There are mindsets are comfortable with the old technologies and all that. Is a change management is a big challenge for all of us. I think we're all experiencing it. And as an academicians, you have to push this technology. Then the government agencies. The government agencies like higher education, maybe regulatory agencies and some other services have to handhold all these academic institutions and give. Already they are doing. AICT is doing a really great service in terms of online courses and so many other initiatives. That way, that has to be accelerated further to reach to a small institution also. Then only the digital learning process will set in and further improve in our system. Now the trend is that what are the technological changes happening in the different disciplines also have to be known by academicians. In the IT field or a pharmacy or a law and everywhere you are using information technology and digital technology. We have to have a knowledge about that. Then we have to incorporate into our courses. That's another big challenge for all of us. Recently, I have seen one presentation, digital engineers. Digital engineers is going to be the future. And 4.0 technology or fourth industrial revolution is going to be a digital engineer. Every engineer is going to be a digital engineer. For that, he has given a beautiful presentation, what are going to be the future and what content should be there to make a digital engineer. Unless we know all these things, we can't really synchronize our requirement of technology to give a better learning process and preparing our people for future technologies. These things have to happen in higher education scenario in our country. So with this, I thank all the participants and my colleagues from various universities and organizers for giving me this opportunity. to learn something from the speakers and to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing those in detail initiatives and the kind of digital transformation that is happening in Geetam. And I'm glad to know that students have to come to classes only for studies. Rest of the administrative work and everything is going online, and experiential learning, blended learning is also happening in Geetam University, and a lot of transformation is happening. So, with this, we would like to move on to our next speaker and hear from Dr. Archana Mantri, Vice Chancellor, Chitkara University from Chandigarh. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, Sudhirji. Thank you for the opportunity. I have been hearing with interest the previous speakers, Mr. Mittal, Dr. Prasanna Kumarji, and also from Dr. Siva Ramakrishnaji. A lot of great insights into digitization of education and how we can adapt and adopt the new technologies for education. Lot of good insights we could see, but definitely I want to put on record and my appreciation for the initiatives which the government of Telangana has taken. Usually these kinds of initiatives come, or I can say do not come very proactively from governments, but here is an example from a state government, not only post and during pandemic, but pre-pandemic also. We have, in fact, government of Telangana and the digitization and the use of technology by any state government. If it has to be from any state government, it has to be from Telangana. They have always been in the forefront of all these kinds of technological innovations, initiatives, not only in education, but in all kinds of governance. People have been talking, we all know about the initiation and initiative in form of T-Hub, which has been taken, and it is one of its kind. In fact, I think Asia's largest incubation center has been set up, and also it is getting expanded at Hyderabad. And I had been a visitor, an appreciator, and also a beneficiary, our students, from this particular initiative. This is just one which I want to bring to fore, but the kind of seamless transition, or I can say seamless, they have ingrained technology, government of Telangana, into everything. And that is what some of the issues and some of the examples which Mr. Mittal brought to the fore. And in fact, I would just like to share an experience. Yesterday only, we had a meeting with the government of Punjab, with all the vice chancellors of the universities in the state of Punjab. And there also the example of government of Telangana was being quoted. So that is the kind of buzz that government initiatives at Telangana has been created all over the country. So thank you and kudos and congratulations to government initiatives at Telangana to give us a lot of success stories, case studies, that if there is political will, anything is possible. So with those words, I would like to talk about the initiatives and what is the perspective of digitization of education at Chitkara University. For those of us who do not know, we are situated in the northern part of India, headquartered in Chandigarh. We have got two universities under Chitkara Educational Trust. One is situated in Punjab and the other is situated in Himachal Pradesh. Both of them have been established under the respective state government acts. We also have two international schools, one in Chandigarh and the other in the state of Haryana. So in a way, we are covering through our presence three states and one union territory. That brings us a lot of perspective and diversified educational population, both in terms of faculty, working staff, and students in our ambit. That also gives us a lot of demographical diversity, in terms of culture also, culture, religion, even linguistically. So there are a lot of challenges that we also face when we are kind of integrating this whole education system. And I can put on record that digitization is something which really comes in handy when we are talking of integration of various kinds of education systems. So I was hearing from the previous speaker, the Vice Chancellor of Geetam University, that they have been an early adopter and initiator of digitization and use of information technology into all kinds of education systems, and that is why Geetam University has been a front runner and didn't sort of feel the heat of the pandemic when everything had to move to digitization and everything has to move to the digital education. The same is the case with Chitkara University also. We started our own ERP way back in 2005. So in fact, the institute started as a group of affiliated colleges to Punjab Technical University in 2002. And we started our own ERP, building our own ERP in 2005 itself. That gives us a lot of flexibility because we have our own ERP and our complete information technology department, pretty much the same as Geetam University has. So we can make and adapt and also tweak our own system, this digital system, for our own requirements. So as the requirements evolved, we also evolved our ERP. And that also facilitated a seamless transition from physical education to online when there was a need. Also, since this was a homegrown ERP and LMS, even the LMS is built into it, so our students and faculty and the administrators all are trained on the same. And that is why this particular, so my recommendation for every other university and colleges going for digitization when you feel the need of it the least. So when you are a front runner, when you have gone into it in an easy mode, when there is time, when it is required the most, it will come in handy. And people would be very adapted already to use of digitization, and hence digitization rather is a necessity now rather than a luxury. So embrace it as soon as possible. The other thing, since we have got school education and higher education both in our ambit, we started bridging school education and higher education pretty much early. So about 6 years back, we started to integrate the school education and higher education by technology, with the help of technology, which incidentally the new national education policy necessitated in 2020. So we developed the curriculum of school as well as higher education, wherein the teachers from both these worlds sit together and evolve a curriculum. Because to higher education system, the students are coming from school education. However, higher education is a customer for rather I would say an absorber of the output of the school education system. So ideally, both of them should work hand in hand. We developed 6 years back a Tech 8 curriculum for our school students with the help of our university technology teachers, and it has come in very handy and it was adopted and very well appreciated and received by our school students. Now that Tech 8 curriculum is being adopted in our 5 adopted villages, and we are experimenting and giving that curriculum for technology, for teaching technology and training the teachers of those government schools, even in vernacular languages, for this technology curriculum. So the bridging of education and of school education and higher education came in handy through technology. That is another example of how early digitization and adoption of technology can help. Giving these two examples as the pro of technology and adoption of technology into education, I would also like to give a flip side of the story. Although digitization has brought in a lot of new solutions to other challenges, because I think Dr. Prasanna Kumar also said that uh, digitization of education is very, very necessary. However, the emotional quotient or the EQ redefined in digital world is something that has emerged as a new challenge. So EQ was always a challenge for the students, and preparing our students to have better EQ in physical world was definitely already a challenge. Now in a digital world, the things are more complicated. Both students and faculty and administrators are juggling with complex, never seen before issues. And EQ, maintaining a emotional balance, has come as a new challenge. And while we are looking at early and almost in a raceful manner adoption of technology, we should not forget and we should not stop thinking about the EQ and maintaining a right emotional balance for both students as well as for faculty members and for administrators in this completely digitalized world. So the previous speaker, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Geetham University, also coined the word digital engineers. And digital engineers, while may be very embraceful with the new digital world and technological advancements, the emotional balance and EQ of these students need to be rethought, need to be redefined, and need to be worked upon more aggressively than ever before. Continuous feedback is also something. When we switched overnight from physical education to digital education, that is something we increased the frequency of collecting the feedback from students and having informal discussion, although using online medium only with the students. We sort of, in our physical mentorship model, wherein every faculty member of the university had 15 students as their mentees, and the interaction used to happen just about once in a fortnight. We increased this informal interaction in this digital world almost by twice, because there are more non-technological issues which were coming in way of good learning and imparting of education than the content or the syllabus or the learning outcomes itself. So that is also something, and that is all, we all must address this issue as educationalists, to have more informal interaction with the students, because that is the need of the hour. These all are related aspects, non-technological aspects of technological world, or what we can say is the social aspect, emotional aspect of the technological world, that we must bring to the fore, discuss more often on such platforms, rather than just singing the goodness of technology and adoption of technology by universities and colleges like us. A lot of complex issues are emerging out, and we need to tackle them. Also, because holistic education is not only about achievement of learning, direct learning outcomes, but also preparing good, emotionally balanced human beings. That's all from my side. Thank you, Sudhirji, once again for this opportunity. And I am willing to learn and very, very eager to learn from the next speakers also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As you rightly said, it's not just about the good things or the positive sides of the technology. It is also the challenges and the affordability that we need to talk about. And we would be hearing more from our speakers who are leaders in other spaces, how they are integrating. Now, I would like to call upon the next speaker who has been part of a government university, worked with the government, and have been on the forefront and pioneer in introducing various digital initiatives in the state of Telangana. Currently, he is heading a private university that is doing wonders, And please join me in welcoming an education leader, Professor S. Ramchandram, Vice Chancellor, Anurag University. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. First of all, I should thank Commissioner, Collegiate Education and Technical Education, and also India Global Media Network for making Andhra University part of this summit. I agree with Mr. Navin Mittal in saying that the education institutions are slow in adopting technology. However, pandemic has hastened the digital transformation. Now the institutions have realized the importance of transforming themselves. I should also compliment the Commissioner and Government of Telangana. They have taken the decision to develop university management system and give it all the institutions in the state. I'm sure that will bring a lot of change in the educational system in Telangana state. And this university management system not only should cater to the normal course, but also they should help the students engaging the faculty members on online and also engaging with their peers, also in bringing industry experts and the other experts from other premier institutions. So that will give a lot of exposure to these students, and they'll be part of the learning process. I am sure this university management system will take care of all those aspects as well. And now that the students and the teachers are exposed to these online classes, and the lot of interest that is generated, and sometimes we see that the students who are in far off places are deprived of access to these resources. I hope that gap will be closed soon. Now that the students have seen the online classes, so there is an alternative to what we teach in the classrooms, and these online classes will go on evolving, and our students will have access to that. The faculty members should be aware of these things. In fact, they should encourage the students to have access to these online classes. They always compare, so what you teach in the classroom and the resources that are available in online. The challenge is now what additionally the teachers can do. That is going to be a very challenging task. So obviously there will be comparisons, and I feel the faculty members or the institution should move towards experiential learning. I tell you, there is a lot of gap that exists now. The development that is taking place at a rapid pace, and the teaching methodology that we adopt. So that's a big challenge now. Yeah, we need to take the help of these online resources and then move towards this experiential learning, where we encourage students towards critical thinking and creativity. So only then we can create that kind of interest to sustain the interest of the students and then encourage them move towards this development that is taking place. Yeah, so we may have to do many things in order to move, change towards experiential learning. A lot of training has to be given to our faculty members. Probably we have to improve our facilities in terms of laboratories and so on. In fact, at Andhra University, now we are creating, apart from the normal laboratories, we are also creating the breakers labs, makers labs, so that where we don't fix the experiments, but rather we give freedom to the students to creatively think and leave them what experiments do they do. Maybe some such steps definitely will help the students to learn in a much more rapid way. That is very, very important, I feel. Yeah, we also have to maybe probably in due course. It doesn't happen so fast, but then the curriculum also has to be revamped so that we move towards this more vibrant environment, and then as I told you, the experiential learning. It has to be done over a period of time. So that's the only way forward, I feel. In addition to that, as already speakers have identified, that the information technology is all pervasive, and every student should have the knowledge of exploiting the power of the computer. In fact, some time back, there was an essay in ACM Communications arguing that the computational thinking or algorithmic thinking is a fundamental subject, as fundamental as physics, chemistry, and should be introduced at the school levels. So that the information technology will be used very effectively. There is no denying that irrespective of the field, the domain, you have to know how to exploit the power of the computer. So they should be knowing the abilities of the computer and exploit the abilities of the computer by programming. So, in fact, we have introduced this component at the graduation level, but I feel that it should be done at the school level itself. And I believe that there are already central schools have introduced in some form, but the state schools are lagging, and probably in future these things will be made part of the schools also. But the challenge is, of course, there is a digital divide that exists between the urban and rural areas. I understand now the fiber optics connectivity is extended to the rural areas also. So this infrastructure has to be created so that once you close the digital divide, and the divide that exists in education also will be automatically closed, because they will have access to the enormous enormous resources that are available, and the students in the rural areas will not be deprived of these facilities. I'm sure these things will happen in future, and you will have um, access to the resources from all places, including your rural areas, and that makes the education system flat. And irrespective of where you are located, in which school you are studying, in which college you are studying, you will have access to all these resources. You know, some of these steps definitely will do a lot of good to our education system. It all depends how the leaders in education take this forward. Um, I'm very impressed by the Commissioner Collegiate Education and Technical Education, Mr. Navin Mittal, who is very proactive in this direction, and who has been leading the education system in Telangana state. Um, Hopefully, we'll see a better future for our education system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking us through the initiatives and your perspective, putting forward your perspective, how what all technologies are being adopted and are the need of the hour. Thank you very much. Now we would be moving on to our yet another important speaker, a leader in the space of education, Srimati Dr. Rachita Kulkarni, President for Sri Sri University. Over to you, ma'am.
Uh, thank you very much, Sudhirji, and thank you for having me in this very important event today. It was really great to listen to some of the previous speakers and to learn about all the initiatives that various universities in India are taking in the direction of digitization. And it's always great on such platforms to share our best practices and learn from. So thank you for including me as part of this event. There are a few thoughts before I come to what we are doing in Sri Sri University. For those of us who are not familiar, we are a very young university, less than 10 years old, based out of Bhubaneswar, Cuttack in Odisha. And currently we have about 3,000 students and close to 50 programs, undergraduate and postgraduate, across 8 diverse faculties. And we belong to Umbrella Education Trust, the Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Vidya Mandir Trust, which runs 100 educational institutions in about 15 states of India, with about 35,000 students. So we come from a great lineage and parentage of experience in education of over 2 decades. This topic, Sudhirji, that you have chosen today is a very, very timely and important one. The pandemic, I think, has accelerated all of our embracing of technology, embracing of living our lives digitally, personally as well as professionally. I think it has also recalibrated the way we live, the way we work, the way we relate to each other. I think none of us could have thought 2 years before that we could do family birthday parties on Zoom, or even weddings could happen on Zoom. But that has become quite the norm today. So this has been an important catalyst of our life. At the same time, we are in an inflection point in history where, for example, travel to space has become available to commoners. We had Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos going to space. Elon Musk is talking about multi-planet living. So this is the context in which our students today are studying in our universities. If you look at it from a job creation orientation point of view, you look at any research today, everybody says that the top 5 jobs of 2030 are not known. There was a recent McKinsey survey which interviewed mid-level to senior level managers, and about 80% of them said that they will hire students more for skills than for roles. So that's a big shift in terms of the kind of preparation our students need to have. And if you look at it, technology has got embedded in our life. I'm joining you now from Mumbai. In the pandemic, so many homes bought robots to help them with their household chores. So this is the world we are in. It's a flatter world, it's a more open world, it's a more equal world. And that is the world which is accelerating at a very fast pace, and that is the world our children, our students are entering. So when we talk of digitization, I think we need to look at it from 2 points of view. One is how we run our institutions, integrating technology, as many of the previous speakers spoke about homegrown ERPs or homegrown LMS systems or homegrown monitoring systems. So how we run our institutions administratively, regulatorily, that is one part. And second is, what are we teaching our students and how are we teaching our students to prepare them to be equipped for the world they are entering. I think we need to look at technology and digitization from both these points of view. And to add to that, what the NEP 2020 has mandated for us, whether it is into, I think it's a extremely visionary and an extremely remarkable policy document. So many of the international conferences I have been part of have all been appreciating how we have now, I think, taken a giant step in recalibrating the way we teach, right from school to higher education. So this is the environment that we are in. And if you look at some of the trends that are expected in technology, I'll take a minute to talk about, look at it in the short term, learning technologies, portable learning technologies. Today, laptops, tablets, phones have become the modes of learning, even some of our house help, etc. Their children have all learned this year on phones. So education has continued. So this is a big shift where we thought that only physical learning could happen. I think a huge shift has happened for us. That's number one. Number two, if you look at it in the medium term, IoT is going to enable everything. It is already happening. More will happen. There will be newer immersive learning technologies. So that is a definite trend that we have to watch out for. And if you look at it from a long-term point of view, and these days long-term is 5 years, I think even the definitions have changed. AI-based technologies, intuitive natural language-based technologies, interactions with machines, all of this is happening, will happen more. Just 2 days ago, I had an interaction with with two brothers from Gujarat who have developed a a language that can be facially communicated with about 17,000 vocabulary in it. So they just do gentle twitching of their face, eyes and lips and different facial muscles. And they can perfectly communicate, and they are now patenting it and making it a language of learning. So we are in a disruptive world, to say the least. And I think, therefore, for us in universities, we need to look at not only what we do now to comply or to sort of respond to the demands of us, but as some of the speakers have already said, proactively prepare ourselves for this kind of a world that our students are entering. A lot is being talked about how many of the students that graduate out of universities are not 100% employable, which is why organizations like Infosys and Wipros have their own inbound universities where students again have to do 2-3 months of learning to equip themselves to their jobs. So this is the overall environment, and I think, therefore, it's a foregone conclusion that we have to be technologically nimble. We have to be extremely digitally savvy in these three areas: the way we run our universities, the way we teach, and what we teach. So in Sri University also, it has been, as I said, being a young university, many of these initiatives of having our own ERP, our own LMS have had begun just before the pandemic in a natural course of our planning, and I think they got accelerated. We are happy that we were able to move to a completely online mechanism of teaching, even for some of our practical studio based or clinic based or lab based programs. I think all of us need to really salute our teachers and students alike for for really embracing this new way of teaching learning. A lot of training had to be done, things like Bloom's taxonomy, etc., where teachers and students had to learn how to study for outcomes more than just the material that they had to consume. So a lot has been done last year. We also planned, therefore, taking the cue from the NEP to start a faculty of emerging technologies. The NEP puts a lot of emphasis on industry collaborated, industry integrated programs. So the Faculty of Emerging Technologies has programs with every major technology company being a partner, with IBM, Cisco, Microsoft, Amazon, NASCOM. And one of the things which I feel very happy to share is that with all this technology is also the importance to talk about cybersecurity, cyber peace. So we partnered with the Cyber Peace Foundation, and I am told we are one of the first ones to start programs in cyber peace, which is a step ahead of cybersecurity. So industry integrated and industry collaborated and industry oriented programs are now our focus. With the IBM Innovation Center, we have launched programs in AI, machine learning, data science. We are using the Cisco Networking Academy very successfully. And this is a suggestion for all my colleagues who are here. Cisco has a very good networking academy where they do partnerships with educational institutions, and it's available for almost nothing, which is their CSR initiative. So it's something which all of us can make the best use of. So a lot of these companies now have such offerings. So we have started that, and I think all of us will continue to build on how we use technology to strengthen our own administrative setups and the way we run. Because Sudhirji, the reality of the matter is that what is happening in Scandinavia or Japan today, or Germany, in terms of completely flexible anytime, anyhow, anywhere learning has already started in India in some way, and I think it will become the norm. And as the Vice Chancellor of Chitkara University, Dr. Archana, was saying, it will start. We have to look at it from the school level. So we are also seeing in our schools how we have to recalibrate how we teach based on students' learning preferences. So it is a disruptive time for us. It's an extremely exciting time, I think, for us to be in education. And I was in another meeting, so I missed Mr. Mittal's comments. And Sudhirji, I would request you to share that if possible, because it seems that in Telangana, they seem to be doing a lot of proactive steps in this direction. And I'm happy that in the state of Odisha also, the government is extremely proactive in these areas. So this is where these are a few thoughts from myself. I will pause here and look
Yeah.
forward to hearing.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We're glad to know. I've heard about it earlier also that Sri Sri University is coming up, is offering modern, I would say, ultra modern courses like cyber peace, and if I'm not wrong, it's been recently launched a few months back. You
Yes,
have.
yes. It started with this academic year. So we launched it in February, started. And Sudhirji, just 1 minute I will take. A very important point with all this technology and with all this, what is becoming impersonal, impersonal way of living. I think three things we have to really, really be very careful and focus on. One is how we keep that human aspect alive. Because if we make the entire life cycle of student management and employee management completely digital and technology driven, then where is the space for the human interactions, and how will we keep that alive? Second is definitely mental well-being. We are seeing how, people are more comfortable talking on the screen than to people in person, and that is definitely affecting mental well-being. So how we are going to take care of that? And thirdly, I think we want to produce students who are not just have degrees, but are happy individuals, and happy happy people, and that should continue to stay. I think as universities, it's a big responsibility we have, and in Shishu University, that is also a very big focus area for us, with the meditation integrated, yoga, meditation, breathing techniques, seva integrated in our the way we live on our campus. I think those are very important balancing aspects that we have to keep in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. These are the most important thing, and this has come to fore. The need has come to fore during the pandemic as well. As you rightly mentioned, other countries are going with the anytime, anywhere learning. India is also getting into that. But how the human interaction would happen? The healthy mind is also important. Maybe this will be a different topic to be discussed on, but yes, as our session is now confined to technology, yes, technology is much essential, and we are moving with by given the talks I have seen throughout last 3 days. I feel that we, in a way, if you look at India as a country, we are on a track in a way, but it's all about acceleration and speed, how we take it up. So thank you so much, ma'am, for that such a visionary talk you have delivered, and to all our esteemed speaker. As a token of appreciation and a gesture on behalf of the Collegiate Education and Technical Education Department and Indie Global Media Network, we would like to present a speaker certificate to our esteemed speakers. We would, on behalf of the department, so we would start off with our key speaker, the chairman for Mahatma Gandhi National Council for of Rural Education, Dr. W.G. Prasanna, chairman for this under the Ministry of Higher Education, Government of India. Next, we would like to present to Miss the Vice Chancellor of Chitkara University, Dr. Mantri, for joining us and spending time all the way from Chandigarh. Dr. Archana Mantri, Vice Chancellor, Chitkara University. Next, we would like to present this speaker certificate to K. Sivaramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Geetam University. And yet another speaker, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Vice Chancellor, World University of Design. And also our speaker from the Anurag University, Professor S. Ramchandram, Vice Chancellor. And last but not the least, Professor Dr. Rajita Kulkarni, President, Sri Sri University. Thank you very much, everyone. Just to inform you, all this session and important talks would be documented in the form of a summit report, which will be released and would be reaching you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaste.